Yo, what's up, YouTube? So I've been asked to do a video on how I felt about long distance relationships. Now, keep in mind, I'm referring to long distance relationships between productive black men and women. So if you're a productive black dude, but you know you're with a woman that isn't necessarily on your level, so to speak, yeah, you should go ahead and break up with her. Same thing, if you're a productive woman and you're with a dude who you feel isn't, I guess, on your level, you should go ahead and break up if you know you guys are going to be moving apart because you're not really doing anything than wasting time. Okay, and chances are you guys are only together because of proximity, right? She's close by, you're close by, and it just works. And obviously, if you remove the whole idea of being close to that person, the foundation of that relationship isn't going to last. Now, like I said before, I'm focusing on long distance between productive black men and women who do value their education and their careers. And I would say that we definitely have to consider the whole idea of long distance in terms of dealing with it, because as you know, forming solid black relationships are hard. Okay, even from a male's point of view, you know, I know that there's less of us and more of you guys, but even then, it doesn't mean that there's a lot of you guys. So even with myself, I have to ask myself, you know, how would I deal with something long distance? And I feel like you have to have two requirements in order for it to work. The first one, you guys have to have great communication. Like, literally, your level of conversation in terms of how you guys interact should not be duplicated, okay? So, as a dude, our conversations should be as such where she understands me on just a mental, you know, spiritual and emotional level, to the point where I know I can't get this level of communication from anyone else. I can't. Okay? But if you feel like there's other people you can talk to and connect with, it's gonna, you know, hurt your relationship. You know, when we form relationships, we have the communication side and we kind of have the physical side. A lot of the times we're in relationships purely for the physical component, and the communication component is whack, or it's, you know, insufficient. So the second you remove the whole physical closeness, the communication isn't enough to support the relationship. Now, you need both, but if you're going to be in a long distance relationship, your communication skills have to be enough to where they can compensate for the fact that you're not physically close, really. And that's why I made the point, you have to be in a position where you know for a fact you can't get that level of conversation and understanding from anyone else, even if you try. She's the only one that can, you know, deal with you, right, so to speak. Because oftentimes, and it's happened, okay, because I've tried to get at chicks who were in long distance relationships, and people are always tempted when they move away because they meet new people, and the new people say, well, guess what, I'm here for you now, okay, you can talk to me and you can see me. And oftentimes we get tempted, okay, but like I said, you have to rely on the fact that you can communicate at a level that no one else can comprehend. Because people will try to come in, you know, and not necessarily be homewreckers, but, you know, say, hey, I'm here right now, okay? And it happens. The second requirement is that there has to be an end date. There has to be a point in time where you guys can say we're going to be back together. Maybe in a couple of months, a year, or 2 years, but it has to be exact, okay? It has to be exact. It has to be on some, like, okay, I'm going to graduate and I'm going to move out, or I'm going to finish my job training and I'm going to move here. Like, there has to be an exact date that you can mark on a calendar to where you guys are going to be together. Okay, there has to be an end date. It doesn't make any sense to be in a relationship with somebody. I don't care how great the communication is, but there is no agreed upon timeline in terms of when you're going to be back together. What's the whole point, right, of being in a relationship if you're not going to be by that person? The whole idea of having the great communication is to hold you down for that 6 months or that year or two. And for me, anything passing 3 years is pushing it, but it can still be done. So even if you do have like a timeline, if we're looking at 3.5 years, I don't know. Okay, it is a while to ask somebody to hold out and stay strong. And like I said before, there's going to be so many new people who are going to be in your face, in your ear. Yo, I'm here now. I'm here now. Yada yada yada. So, like I said, you can have a timeline. You need one, but if we're looking at anything longer than 2 years, you may have to possibly consider ending the relationship, because it's almost too much, right? We think we can handle it, but 2 years is a long time. So, those are just my 2 requirements. I'm sure you guys have more, and I'm sure some of you guys don't agree and whatnot. So let me know how you feel. But just understand, man, like, it's something that you definitely have to consider. Now, I hope that, one wouldn't have to deal with the whole idea of long distance, but it's a reality. It is reality. Most people who are, in a serious relationship and who are productive blacks probably have had to have dealt with the whole idea of long distance. And I know people break up because they didn't want to sacrifice their careers, and I know people who didn't sacrifice their relationships for their careers. But I'm not a believer in men and women necessarily giving up their dreams, but I am a believer in actually having a plan that allows one to sacrifice but also carry out their dreams in order to make it work. So anyways, you guys tell me how you feel. Take it easy. God bless.